I'm setting up Facebook meeting. There you go. All right, welcome everybody to Study Group Mondays. So what we are going to be doing, welcome everybody, is find a way of going through some of the things that we cover in class and work them around Mondays platforms, navigating trading platforms. We may have a topic that we want to cover at any time. So this is important for our investors. And we'll just give it about 30 minutes to 45 minutes so that it doesn't take a lot of time. All right, so one of the questions that a lot of people have had is navigating trading platforms. And trading platforms become critical if you're going to be trading. Even if you're investing, it's also a good idea to understand some of these platforms when you do your own research and analysis. All right, so let me share a few things that we will cover in the next half hour. And if you have a question, you can go ahead and post it and we can try and navigate around it. All right, so this is what I wanted us to go through, navigating trading platforms. So there are several ways of placing trades, whether you're buying or selling. The first way is going online to a brokerage account, and most of them will allow you to buy or to sell using their online account. All right, the second way is downloading their trading platform, and this is where you see all those charts and people looking at them, going through analysis, candlesticks, all that stuff. Then there's another way of trading using web platforms. So some brokerage accounts will have a web platform where if you're, let's say you're traveling, you're in an airport somewhere, you don't have your platform with you or your laptop, you can just jump into your account online, go to the web platform and do analysis there. And then the last thing is mobile apps, right? So a lot of people use their phones. You can quickly place trades there if you know how to navigate your mobile app. So those are the four ways. So we had this discussion just a minute ago with Lucy. So Robinhood does not have a trading platform. Most of their navigation is through the web or using the app. So if you wanted to buy something on Robinhood, all you have to do is search for that ticker symbol, and then you're going to be placing your trade there. I also haven't seen a lot of navigation here on, reading charts. It's very basic. You either know where you're buying or where you're selling. It doesn't give you a lot of other stuff that can confuse you. So that's Robinhood. It's just a simple web platform, mobile app, you buy and sell. And one of the issues that I know some people have had, particularly if you're trading options, is putting advanced strategy trades. If it's a vertical spread, it becomes a little challenging because it doesn't just tell you vertical spread. You have to create it somehow, come up with those two legs and make a vertical spread. Right, so that's Robinhood, where you just go online and choose what platform you are looking at, and you can go ahead and place a trade. All right, so most other brokerage firms that are steady and they do analysis will allow you to download their trading platform. So we'll take an example of TradeStation. Obviously, this is my favorite. TradeStation has software that you can download once you get approved for membership, for subscription, and they have two of them, 9.5 and the most recent platform, 10 point something. I prefer 9.5. This is what I've been used to. It's very easy for me to do. I will take a look at 10.5 because some people have asked whether it's worth doing it, because I've been so used to trade 9.5. So we'll see what happens with 10.5 once I review it. All right, and then you do have thing called Swim if you're using TD Ameritrade. So TD Ameritrade will have different ways of doing it too. So you can place a trade on TD Ameritrade, the account online, you can download Thinkorswim, and this is the platform for Thinkorswim. You can do it on your phone or you can do it on the desktop. Okay. And then if you're using your phone, some people just get used to using their phone. It's so easy to place trades on your phone because you're traveling. And I actually prefer, once you know how to navigate all these trading platforms, doing it on your phone becomes a place to exit trades or even do entry trades if you get alerts. So let's say you had set an alert to purchase a particular company on demand zone, let's say Baba 165, for instance. Once you get that alert, 165, you're not near a computer. All you have to do is jump on your phone. And if you had saved that order, even better, because there's a way you save those orders ahead of time. When you get that trigger or that alert that you can execute the trade, then you just go ahead and submit. All right. So those are the different things that we'll be going over navigating these trading apps. And if you do have a question about any of this, feel free to ask. Oh, there's one more that we didn't talk about, TradingView. All right. So TradingView has become very popular. And actually some web platforms are using it. If you go to investing.com, for instance, you will see that the charting there is powered by TradingView. So they have become very popular. It's also very close to display. The display, if you look at this display, it doesn't give you anything. It's just a line chart. Just for simply looking at whether you can identify an entry or exit. But if you want to navigate any of this, you can expand these charts to become candlesticks and modify them so that they look a little better professionally. So TradingView has become very popular. I also like it. Actually, I do some analysis there. And one thing that we ask a lot of students that come our way, if you don't have a brokerage or you don't have, you have not downloaded any of these trading platforms, you can use TradingView to get going on paper trading, simulating the trades, practice, just so that you, before you even place your trades, you are navigating some of these platforms. And you see down here, this paper trade. So once you click paper trade, you can be able to place trades using this chart or just doing an entry if you know what you're doing, whether it's going long or going short. So in this case, last week I had put in a short on NASDAQ, and that short I think is already up $395. Then I had done a long on ABNB. So you can start practicing here on TradingView, and I think we'll dig a little bit deeper on how to navigate it when we get there. All right, questions so far? Any questions on the 4 ways that you can navigate around these platforms before we start digging a little bit deeper into them? All right, cool. All right, let's jump into, let's start with what? Let's start with Webull. I do have Webull here, and I know a lot of people use Webull too. So Webull, this is the downloaded platform for Webull. This is not the online account. You have to download it on your desktop. So this is how it looks like. It has these candlesticks and very basic. Actually, it just has navigation on the left if you're putting in your watch lists, then the main view of your chart, and then the matrix on the right. And most of these platforms will be structured that way, where you are looking at symbols on the left, the main view of your chart. Once you click on it, gives you, you can link all this together so that once you are looking at Alibaba, it gives you the chart and you can execute the trade on the matrix. all those three things should be linked. Sometimes they are not. We were working with an account in Canada, Wealth Simple. It's usually not linked, or even Interactive Brokers. You have to link all those together so that you don't have to keep putting in the symbols if you're buying or selling Alibaba, for instance. So this is Webull. It has, you can add indicators down here, volume, RSI, moving averages. You can add them here. Their options chain is also quite simple. You have the calls and puts and the expiration dates. So the one thing that it doesn't give you is analysis. So you can do this, but you won't be able to do an analysis of that trade if, let's say, it was a vertical. And now you'll understand why we prefer Thinkorswim, because it's the best platform for doing analysis on options. Okay, then I do have Tastyworks, if you have an account with Tastyworks. So this one is popular with micro contracts on futures. It also has stocks. It does have options too. And remember, Tastyworks is owned by Tom Sasnoff, who's the creator of Thinkorswim, and came up with this platform. It has become a wonderful platform. I don't necessarily use it. I prefer TradeStation and Thinkorswim, but it does have good analysis for options too. So if you don't have Thinkorswim, you can probably think about Tastyworks. And Tastyworks actually has a column here for futures that is just micro contracts. Although any other platform, you can build those micro contracts and put them as a watch list for yourself. But Tastyworks does have that tab for futures micros. All right, so I think those are the most major platforms that a lot of people use. And if there's a platform that you'd like me to review, or one of those that you have found difficult to navigate, you open an account with them, you don't want to move away from it, but you want to find a way of trading there, let me know and then we can do it. Okay, so let's go to TradeStation, my favorite, and we'll start with this one. So like I said, TradeStation, any of these downloadable trading platform will have ticker symbols on the left, a main view, and a matrix. All right, so most of them should be linked so that you don't have to move away from a particular symbol if you are trading. So let's take an example of, this is micro Bitcoin, MBT. And TradeStation, one thing about TradeStation, when you look at their charts, it will have this sign here, at. You know how you say at Gmail, at Hotmail, it does have that symbol, at. Once you add that symbol at, it builds a continuous chart. And what is a continuous chart? There are no gaps in it. It will take a chart and build the candlesticks going way back. So you won't see any distortion in those charts at all. So micro Bitcoins just started trading recently. I think it was in May when it launched here. And you can see it has built that chart over time. When you put the at ticker symbol, it will build it for you. Let's do another one at ESU. So this is the futures contract for SPY. And going back, you see it's built this chart over time. So the one thing about TradeStation is understanding how they build their charts, particularly if you're trading futures markets. So I have contract specific and adjusted continuous contracts. When you take the class, you'll learn about all this, don't worry. But once you put contract specific chart, it's going to build it for you based on the expiration month. So remember, futures contracts expire on a schedule. So it might be monthly, it might be quarterly. It depends on what you're trading. So in this case, Dow Jones DIA futures contract on it is at YM. The current contract that's actually expiring this week is at MYU 21. And we've already started rolling over to the December contract. So when we review this, let's say a week from now, we'll see how it becomes distorted over time because the contract has moved over and there's no more, they haven't pierced together all the data links going back. So you cannot use them for trading because it won't give you a very clear picture. Then there's some that will have gaps like at ESD. This will have gaps because it's only giving you information during regular trading hours. So this becomes a little technical if you're trading futures contracts, but don't worry about them. The idea is that TradeStation, you have to understand what you're trading and then know how to read that chart. But for most people, if you're trading stocks, Apple, for instance, will not have any of those distorted lines. So you can go way back to 2006 and look at that chart. And you see how clear it is. That's why I love TradeStation. It's very clear. The candlesticks are very clear. The visual is awesome. And it can give you a lot of information. Some of them will not take you all the way back. They become distorted at the end. See, like there now, 2009, it doesn't give you information. It actually just shows a zero. That data is hidden because it's just too far away. Most will cut off maybe by 10 years. They can no longer show data. And they may want you to probably buy that data if you wanted to look at. But TradeStation is good. It gives you a lot of information going back years and years. All right, so the main view is right here. Now, the one thing we always talk about is what time frame are you looking at? What time frame are you looking at? Because if you're going to be working on a swing trade or let's say couple months, you want to hold it for a couple months, you will not come here and start looking at a 5-minute chart. That is for people that are day trading. So the shorter the time frame, the shorter you are in those trades. Because if you are thinking of buying Apple and you're looking for a great opportunity to buy Apple, the idea is that you know where the daily demand zones and where the weekly demand zones are, because banks and institutions, remember, they have a lot of money and they are very liquid. They can wait for a very good high quality demand to place a huge trade. All right, so they already know where those daily demand zones, where those weekly demand zones are, and they can patiently wait. Most of us cannot. We want to trade, we want to get in and out and make money. Them, they can. So if you looked at Apple and we say, oh, there's a demand at 143, that's not too far away from 149. And that's if you're looking to get in this trade and then get out maybe at 155 or so. But if it drops to 117, you'll see how much of a scramble banks and institutions will want to buy it because it has not been there for a couple months, way back. The last time it was there in March. So if you're waiting to buy Apple at 117, you've been waiting and you've kept waiting. Will it get there? Probably. But as soon as it gets there, they're not second guessing themselves. And this is a problem where we have retailers, if it starts selling off, instead of thinking that it's a great opportunity to do an entry at those demand zones, we are panicking and getting out. And we should be doing the opposite. Okay, so understanding what time frame you're working with on a chart is crucial, and knowing exactly what you should do if price hits that demand zone. So those time frames, you may want to look at the trading platform you're working with and figure out how they name their time frames. So TradeStation is quite clear. It will give you interval and we'll start from one tick and go all the way to monthly. So 1 tick, 10 ticks, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 60 minutes, all the way to monthly. Those are the time frames. So the higher the time frame, the longer you can wait for those demand zones to get hit. All right, and then it does have other ways of doing analysis using batches. Let's say you wanted to see, these are bars that represent 1,000 share bars. So that one particular bar is a buyer or a seller that dumped or bought 1,000 shares in batches. Why would you want to look at those ones? Because if somebody is willing to buy Apple and is putting in a lot of share capital, that means there's huge demand for Apple at that point. So in this case, this is a what? This is a weekly chart, and we're looking at, let's see if we can find 50,000 share bar. All right, so each share bar represents 50,000. And you can see from, is this today? Yeah, this is actually today. It's only giving us the end of the day. So there were a lot of people buying and selling 50,000 share bars. So it just helps you to understand how other people do trades. Okay. So TradeStation, like I said, it has interval. You can move from 1 minute all the way to monthly. And then it has these 3 tabs that it has laid out here: daily, weekly, monthly. All right. Now remember, TradeStation has built their platform using these, what do you call them, bars? All right. So if you X that one, you have to find a way of replacing it. And I've seen a lot of people work with TradeStation, and then they say, it's no longer the same, because once you X out, it doesn't show here. You may have to rebuild it. So to avoid that, as soon as you have found a display or you have customized your TradeStation, you like it, this is how you want it, go ahead and save Workspaces as, give it a name, or desktop as. All right, so you can rename it to whatever you want. So it's critical that you start working on things that you're familiar with. So if you give me another workspace, it will take time for me to place a trade, because that means I have to figure out, okay, where was the matrix? Where was the ticker symbols? So as soon as you're comfortable with the workspace, go ahead and save it and give it a name that you'll remember. So the workspaces are down here. And workspaces essentially are just something that you like and you don't want to change it. So for instance, now this is a workspace for what? We have 4 windows. And let's say we were looking at SPY, the ETF. And instead of looking for a chart, for the daily chart, and then we search for another one for 120 minutes or 60 minutes or 15 minutes, all of them are put in one place. Okay, so we have 4 windows of the same ticker symbol with different time frames. All right, so it's easier for me at this point to navigate and figure out what's the trend, because the one thing that you always want to know is the trend. The trend is your friend. All right, until the end, at the end at the end. So once you put in a ticker symbol and you are looking to trade it, you can quickly look at the daily time frame. It's down, 120 down, 30 minutes down, 15 minutes down. So you know that Alibaba has been on downtrend. So your next objective is, am I trading short or am I going long? Okay. And if I'm investing, then I'm looking for opportunities to do an entry at a low price and sell at a high price. So that's one workspace that becomes helpful to you. All right. The next workspace on TradeStation is Radar Screen. And this one on the right is customized already, where it gives you the interval, the net change, percentages for that day. Did it go up or down by whatever percentage? And then the ATR, movement, average true range movement for that day or for that ticker symbol. So on average, ES is moving 33 points. Nikkei Japanese index is moving 453 points, so a lot. And then let's say we are trading ABT, movement is 185. And you notice that they're all linked. Again, you click on ABT, it gives you the 3 different time frames. So that's another workspace that I love, because apart from just looking at the 4 charts, now I have ATR here, I have the last price, and I can easily customize a ticker symbol there. All right, so the next one is more workspaces. So now this one, you can customize it and say, I'm looking to buy airlines, but I don't know which one. So what you will do is start building airlines for yourself. So this one, let me not change this one because I know I already did this for indices. So what I'm doing here, let me just explain, is I want to look at the chart for US dollar, a treasury note, NASDAQ, crude oil, SPY, and gold. So these are the 6 major commodities that I trade almost every other day. So I'll want to see all of them in one place, and I can quickly determine what's the movement here. All right, so gold and crude oil and ES, sometimes they are inverse correlated. So one will go down, the other one will go up, but that quickly gives me an idea of, okay, this is what I should look at. All right, the next chart. So you see how these workspaces are helping us to navigate around what we want to trade or what to invest. So these are just 2 charts. And usually this one is ticker symbols that I want to find correlation. So we have SPY and we have SH. And if you don't know what SH is, that's an ETF for stocks that will go against the major index. So if the index is going up, this one will go down. If the index is going down, this one will go up. So I would want to see that correlation. The other thing I can do is now compare. For instance, if I wanted to compare here, let's say I wanted to compare euro at EC. Okay, and then on the other hand, I want to compare the dollar at DX. Oh, that failed. Let's try again. What's the ticker symbol for DS? That should be at DXY. Yeah, at DX. Okay. In any case, let's see if we can do a correlation between euro. Where was that one? There, euro and Australian dollar, for instance. All right, so let's do at can do at Canadian dollar, or we can even do at GC. Let's do that one. Yep. So we are comparing euro and we are comparing gold. So you can easily look at, is there an inverse correlation? Are they going in lockstep with each other or not? All right, next one, more workspaces. Now this is one that you can use to compare different companies in a sector. So let's say we wanted to trade airlines. You can have a chart here for maybe your 4 favorite American airlines. It'll give you a chart for that one. What's the next one? Boeing. All right, it'll give you a chart for Boeing. What's the next one? Let's say you are looking for Delta. DAL. DAL, all right, there's another one. I think Raf is here. Raf, you may have more. You are the ones that love airlines. There you go, UAL.
Delta works for me. You picked it out from me.
Okay,
Thank
yeah, and
you.
then Southwest Airlines. So see,
Okay.
so we put in no, that wasn't American Airlines. That was Alcoa. We were wrong. American Airlines will be what? AAL. Yes, AAL. So we just need to build one more. I don't know which other airline are we looking at. Oh, we can actually do this one now. Let's do Jets on this one. And Jets in this case is the ETF for all of them. All right, so here you go. So instead of figuring out what's going on with airlines, you plug in those ticker symbols for the airlines you want to trade, and you can easily see what you want. All of these are what, 60 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So you may have to adjust all of them and choose, let's say we just do daily chart for all of them. That way gives us a bigger time frame. Daily chart on that one. There you go. Okay. So it gives you a snapshot of daily timeframes on those airlines, but then you have the ETF for all of them, which is this. And you notice it's very similar to all of them, really, because the chart for Jets, you can easily look at all of them are trading not on the highs, but equilibrium, except for these ones, Southwest Airlines. So that gives you a snapshot. Should I buy these individual airlines or just buy Jets? All right, so that's a good workspace. All right, then you can build, you can keep building this. Now you understand how many workspaces you can keep building here. That way you don't have to worry about, it cuts down your time of analysis. Okay, let's see. That's more. There's one more here, Hotlist. So TradeStation has a hot list, and a hot list will be found. The only other place that I think has a hot list is TradeStation will have a hot list. Tastywork has a hot list. What a hot list does is you can format the ticker symbols so that if you, let's say you're looking for gap up and gap down, or losers by percentage in a day or 5 days or 10 days. So it gives you data for what you're looking for. So if you're looking for losers in the last 1 day, so this is the trading for today. Yeah, this is it. MDXG fell by 58%, VQS 20%. Let's format another one. Let's format by gap down. And we are looking for, you can look for ticker symbols gap down by $, near open by percent. See how many screenings you can do. There are so many: rapidly falling, rapidly rising, volatility list. So it's amazing how many things you can do if you're just looking to trade. So if we were looking for ticker symbols that had a gap down by percent today. All right, so here you go. We have by percent, which one fell the most? AXTI fell 38%. And you notice once you click on that ticker symbol, it gives you a chart. So this is another wonderful workspace. You don't have to take that ticker symbol, go to the main screen, put it in, and then look at it. No, you just click on it, gives you the chart, and you can adjust this by timeframes. So this one fell from about $9 to $6.50. KWeb actually had a gap down for 2.3%. Alibaba gap down by 2%. All right, so what we usually look for here is good stocks or good companies that gapped down, let's say by 10%, 15%, 20%. Oh, now you start thinking about, okay, they're hitting daily demand zones or weekly demand zones, and there could be an opportunity to go long. But for me, I don't look at anything below $10. So if I find a ticker symbol like that one, AXTI, and it's only trading at $7, we'll skip that one. I won't look at it. I usually look for anything above $10. That's where I focus on, because banks and institutions, most of them will not trade anything below $10. All right, anything else here? Let's see, swing trades. And this is almost like a radar screen. You can also build your own radar screen without, you can add a few things here. You can add an ATR, you can add volume and all that stuff. Okay, let's see, anything else? Lastly, this is a quick trade bar. So let's say you didn't want to look at your charts and all you're looking to do is buy or sell. So you already know Russell, Micro, or Facebook. You come here and just put in your entries. You're buying 1 share, 100 shares, 200 shares, and then just buy. So it's grayed out because the market obviously is closed. This one, the market is open. That one is open. So it will give you color when the market is open. It will be grayed out if the market is closed or has post trading, maybe they're on break or something. Okay, questions on TradeStation so far? We haven't talked about navigation. We just did an overview of how to do this. But so far, do you have any questions, or you have been doing this and there's something that's bothering you? All right. Let's now do a little navigation on this one, and then we can plan for next week and see if we can get a good idea of what to do next. So TradeStation, these navigations, you need to be familiar with them, particularly if you are going to be doing analysis. So usually you start with a horizontal line, which is the blue line. I'll remove it for now and we'll work around it. So up here you have controls. Remember, I talked about interval and then I talked about time frames. Those are already put there. And this platform is available if you subscribe, you open an account with TradeStation, but to have it look like mine, you need to customize it. And usually I help all my participants, anybody that's coming to our class, to have a customized view of TradeStation. So I'll help you download it, customize it so that it looks exactly like this. All right, so you start off with the horizontal line. This is where you place your current price. So if you are navigating on Apple and you're looking at 60-minute chart, you know the price is at 149. And let's say you're looking for where the sellers are and where the buyers are. You'll go up to the left for supply, down to the left for demand. And as soon as you found demand, following the process, because it's a process, following the process, then you take this Fibonacci price retracement tool. You see, once I click on it, it gives me the retracement tool. So a lot of people will have problems. They'll click on it and then they'll click again and then it draws everywhere. So click on it once, gives you the Fibonacci retracement tool, drag it to a place where you have found an explosive candle, place the Fibonacci there, click once so that you draw the first top line, drag it to the bottom of the bar, click again, now it gives you the second line. So at first it will seem a little confusing, but with practice, then you become a pro. To remove it, right click, remove Fibonacci retracement. Let's try again. All right, so we'll click on it once, drag it to where we find demand, click on it once, drag it to the bottom of that bar. This is where we are establishing demand. Click again, now we have our retracement. So now visually, if we were going to buy Apple and we are day trading, we have the option of doing an entry at the proximal line or the distal line. Okay, so if you want to place a trade at the proximal line, then you know it's 146.11. So when you go to execute that trade on your platform, now you know your entry 146.11, And now obviously you'll have to calculate how much your risk is based on capital and the risk to reward ratio. Then you would put now your stop, if it was at 5%, 2%, or a specific amount below the distal line. So let's say you wanted to put a stop at 144.09, that's your stop, that's your entry, and then you will figure out your target 1 and target 2. All right, so to draw the supply zone, you do the same thing up to the right, and you're looking for those explosive candles. Let's say we have determined that as the supply line. I'm not saying we have done this, just for illustration. We have not done any analysis at all. I don't want somebody going to jump and placing the trade saying, oh, I saw this and yeah, I'm good. I am going to put that trade. There's still a few other steps that you need to qualify these zones. All right. Okay, so for illustration, let's say that's the supply you probably determined up to the left. So again, you would click on that Fibonacci retracement once. Oh, let me remove this one first. Remove, right click, remove, right click, and all that you have to just right click on it to remove whichever line. Right click on it, right there on the line, remove horizontal line. Okay, all right. So we were drawing the supply. Click once on the Fibonacci, place it on your zone, click once to draw the first line, drag it down, click it again. Now you have established your supply zone. So again, remember we were doing just an illustration of buying at proximal line and selling at supply. So if you want to, as soon as it touches 146.11, you want to do an entry. So you would do that buy order at 146.11, put your stop after you've determined your stop loss. And now you would calculate, do I want to sell, let's say you are buying 100 shares, you want to sell the first 50 at 151, and then let the rest go to 157. So now you would place your sell orders by limit. You bought 100, you're selling the first 50, 151, the second 50 at 157 or whatever price that you want to do that. All right, so that's using the Fibonacci retracement tool. Okay, these are the ones. It's just this ellipse. Usually I will use it to find a gap. So if I find, which stock was that we found that had a gap on the hot list? Let's go to hot list. AXTI. Let's format one more time and see whether we can find even a gap up by percent. So which company or stock gapped up? 13%. MEC gapped up by 13.6%. There you go. So this one, to use the tool. Oh, let me minimize first. So we did find the hot list and it's attached to the chart. So remember, you can maximize any of them. So in this case, we are maximizing the chart, right? And the purpose for that ellipse for me in particular is just to identify a gap and draw it out. So I'll click on it and then I will draw this as a gap so that in future, if I come here and I wanted to, I remember that, oh, I did create a gap, an ellipse here for a gap, and I'm trying to drag it so that it's, yeah, right there. There you go. Okay. So now I will put that ellipse to remind me that it gapped up. Why? Because in future, we know that gaps need to be filled. So this gap at one point will be filled, whether it's a month from now, 2 months, 10 months, who knows? But I will remember, okay, there's a gap there that needs to be filled. If I'm doing analysis on that particular stock in future and I see that gap and I look and see, oh, it's never been filled, now I can probably place a trade to make sure that I get out on that gap. All right. One more that I usually will do is this rectangle, and the rectangle is just for display. So this demand zone, if you wanted to highlight it as a visual, you can just draw that yellow ribbon there, or you can change this color. It's really just for display, so that for people that are very good at, they only want demand zones to be green. And they only want supply zones to be red. So you can format the color here. How is this color? Let's right click on it. So they can change that color. Right click on it. And then we just want to put it as green. So some people like it that way. They will not take anything that's a different color. So green and red. So it's really for visual. And once you get comfortable doing that, then you can you can add these, whatever color that you want. All right, so these are the ones. Some of them are customized. There is an ABC tool here, and this ABC tool in class we use it a lot. If we were illustrating, for instance, you're buying 10 shares at whatever price, and we are writing it out. So we are doing the math here, because sometimes math can be challenging, and just by doing this using pen and paper, it becomes helpful. That's just ABC, or writing anything else. Let's say you want to remember that you should have bought at this price, or you're just putting notes to yourself. So you can use that ABC tool. These other arrows are just going up or going down. You can use those ones. And then we have the other controls here are for increasing bar space or decreasing bar space. If you want this bar space to be decreased or increased, so let's try and increase it. It goes up, decrease it, goes down. So it's just customizing it where you think, I don't quite see it clearly. You can use those controls there. Then you can zoom in if you wanted to. And these are the ones. I think I customized this smiley face so that instead of going to file and then putting orders, if I click on that smiley face, it gives me the order entry. That's all I did there. But you don't have to do that. It's just easier for me. Remember the smiley face. Now I'm ready to buy. I can use the smiley face, or I can use the matrix to do the entry down here, or I can use the chart to buy and sell. If you've never tried buying and selling using the chart, it's actually awesome, because once you put in your trade, you can move your prices up and down. Okay, you can move your prices up and down. And I think we can do this next week. That way it's a little easier for somebody that has practiced. So here you go. You can start practicing on any platform, and then next week you can come back and say, oh, I did try it, but it didn't quite work. And then we can figure out what's going on. All right, so far, any questions? I only have 3 more minutes and then I can wrap it up. Any questions? So we'll be doing these on Mondays, and we'll dig into each platform until we are so comfortable with it. So don't worry about so far it seemed all over the place, or it seemed like out of this world. No, we'll customize it. We'll take one platform and figure out how to become comfortable placing those trades. Okay, questions? All right. Okay, I will finish with market analysis for today. We posted on our Discord community the big picture. You always want to think about the big picture if you're trading. So you do have the major indices. You need to be aware of where their demand and supply zones are. And we posted this earlier today. We're looking at a daily chart. Triple Q has this demand zone at 373, 371. You can see that rally, base, rally, and then it based there. Now it dropped to that demand zone, and you can see it barely touched it, and then bounced off that zone. So if you are trading today and you are keen in the market early in the morning, when NASDAQ dropped to that 373, now you had your opportunity. You could have bought an option to go along, a vertical. You could have bought the ETF. You could have done a futures market just because you know that the market will turn there, right? So that's one demand zone. It hasn't actually touched. It came very close to that demand zone, so we are leaving it still valid. All right, next one. SPY. Okay, so SPY, here you go. We had this demand lower at 435 down here, 435, 435 right here. This rally, let me go to a daily. I think it's a big picture. It gives us a better view. There you go. Yeah, rally, base, and then it rallied out of there. The first time it came back, did not quite get to the base and then moved up. So we have it marked there. It's still valid, 435. If it gives you that opportunity to get there, you should mark it to go along, because you notice that we have been on a relentless uptrend. And actually, I posted this on Facebook, starting with, was it May 19th? So I drew it out. Somebody has been tracking this. Raf, I think you commented on it. Very amazing. May 19th. Or here, May 19th.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, June 19th, July 19th, August 19th. Oh, August 19th, July, June, May. Now, look at how close it is, September 19th. It's almost as if it's a pattern. Somebody has programmed this. Yeah, you should know. Yeah, you should know that actually algos and computers have been programmed to buy or sell at the 50-day moving average. Well, that's the other thing. We can talk about indicators. Although I don't usually worry too much about them, but the indicators will show 50-day moving average. As soon as it touched there, jumped up, touched there, moved, touched there, moved. Okay, so that's SPY. Next one, IWM, Russell, on a daily. So Russell has been on this sideways maniac for, I don't know, since February. A low of 210, a high of 235. 210, 210, 235. 210, 235. 210. So knowing this sideways movement, so far, anybody that has been tracking this has actually made lots of moolah here. Buying at 210, selling at 235. So it didn't quite get there again. It only came to 220. But we do have it marked down here. So if it does drop, remember September and October are very volatile. It might drop to that zone. You should be ready. And at that point, you figure out, what am I trading on IWM? Is it the ETF? Am I doing options? Am I doing futures market? What am I doing? You have 4 different ways, actually even 5 when you do futures on index. 5 different ways of doing that entry. So 210, 211, 210, you have that demand zone there. And then lastly, Dow Jones. Dow Jones has also been an upward movement. It started selling off last week, 5 days consecutively. We do have 339. Yeah, this 339 zone is still valid, although it was touched once. Yeah, it was touched once, but it's still valid. So mark that on your notes, put on your alerts. That way, if it gets there, you're not even thinking twice, you're going on. Okay, so those are the major indices. Remember, that's the daily timeframes. Did we mark? Yeah, we did mark supply zones on Discord, so you can just have a look at them. That way, you know exactly where the supply zones are now, because for the last couple of weeks, it's been all-time high, all-time high. We have not had supply. Now we do, and I posted those ones on Discord. So if you're buying on a demand, you should always expect to get off near or near supply. So that gives you a better trading plan if you're buying the ETF or whatever it is. That's it. Okay, questions? I can stop here. Raf, any questions?
No. It's always a refresher for me. Always coming back and just getting a refresh on these classes.
Correct.
Always info. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we'll be doing these on Mondays, every Monday, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's see. Do we have any questions at all on Facebook here? I do have a few questions here. Let's see. Yeah, what platform is this, Judy? Oh yeah, it's a TradeStation. TradeStation. Let's see any other questions I get there. Lillian, everybody else is watching there. All right. Yeah, I don't see any other questions here, unless I'm missing them, but I don't see any other questions there. Okay, all right. So those that are looking to do this, you can easily go online. Actually, classes start this week. Yes, classes start this week. And if you would like to join any of those classes, just go online and choose a class. If you haven't done this at all, you're a beginner, there's a beginner course for you. If you have been trading and you want to sharpen your skills a little bit, go ahead and choose the trading course. If you have done some options and you've been burning money, then you would rather do verticals. And let's see, anything else? If you want to advance and do your hedging, then you can go ahead and do the futures class. All right, so I hope I gave something for you to work with this week, and we will go ahead and meet again next week and keep doing this. All right, guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you, guys.
Mhm.
All right, good night.